Gonna run a float pass this side, touchdown! And it's human pyrotechnics dressed in red, white, and gold.
It's week 5 in the NFL, and we've got winners for every game, including a rematch of the AFC title tilt in KC. Defense is optional in this one. In fact, yeah, let's just go with arcade mode from the opening kick, please, and thank you.
Kyler Murray, 3-step drop, lobs it deep middle in the end zone. Max Williams hangs on as he's hit. Touchdown!
We're also giving you Cynthia's projections for the top quarterbacks, running backs, and wideouts, plus point totals for some of the biggest games of the week. Among them, the 49ers and the undefeated Arizona Cardinals, just like we all predicted. NFL Game Day View starts right now.
All right, I'm here in London making new friends. I'll have my Jets-Falcons pick in just a little bit, but Cynthia will have her pick. That's more important. That's what we really watch for, right? Coming up.
Hey Rachel, happy birthday, thank you. Your old pal Sal, I know you're celebrating with your new fancy pals at the NFL Network. I am so happy for you. No, really I am. And I want to wish you a happy birthday. I bought you a gift. You're not here to open it, so I'll do it here. I wrapped it myself. I give you this gift. I usually get paid a lot of money to do this, but for you, free, buddy. Browns 26, Bolts 20. Congratulations. Happy birthday. 40 never looked better on anyone.
Have those options, and the more he's doing, then the better he's doing it. Like, good luck.
A playbook is similar to turning 30 because you just get thicker and thicker and thicker.
Yeah, that's right. You can't eat late at night.
I tried to put on my jumpsuit this morning and it didn't fit, and I didn't feel good about it.
This thing hurts more when you're 30.
Greg is setting us up for meme alert here. He's got the Cardinals 30-28, and I am picking the Cardinals as well. I'm going the undefeated team here. Let me ask you this, Cynthia. We were talking about this in our team meeting. Do you think that Shanahan was well aware that Trey Lance was going to be playing this weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, listen, I'm happy to say it. Kyle Shanahan is a lying liar.
He's a lying liar.
He's a lying liar who lies when it says the injury report. Until he has to say it,
right.
He's a lying liar.
Okay, so maybe Trey Lance knew he was going to be playing, but I still think that that's a hard place to go into against a 4-0 team in Arizona. I think that might be tricky for him. All right, next on Game Day View, we are picking more games, but first, Cynthia's got some player projections and proper performances. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
time, huh? Remember what we're here to do. Play for the guy beside you. Play for everybody. Make some plays. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mahomes will step up. Josh going to throw. Looks to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
This is one of those plays any normal quarterback could not make.
All right, let's talk individuals and proper performances. Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for passing yards in Week 5. We got Tommy B there. We got Josh Allen. Tell me a little bit more about Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well, look, the Patrick Mahomes number is lower than 306.5 for a couple of reasons. One, I told you that the Bills defense is something
pretty good.
Yeah, they're very good, but it's really, we haven't seen a lot of situations where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have used things like going for it on 4th down or any of the sort of tricks. So the thing I want to point out is that while that passing number might be lower than you expect, his rushing number is definitely going to be more than 16.5. I think it's going to be something in the 20s because I think we start to see some of these tricks and 4th down plays and things that they have to use the feet and the lobs. And
under the leg.
Under the leg.
Back.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be an interesting one. So you might see 298. That seems lower. But look at the rushing number, and that number is going to be higher.
Okay. All right.
We're like, see?
We're going to break down more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's our time, huh? Remember what we're here to do. Play for the guy beside you. Play for everybody. Make some plays. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mahomes will step up. Josh going to throw. Looks to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
This is one of those plays any normal quarterback could not make.
All right, let's talk individuals and proper performances. Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for passing yards in Week 5. We got Tommy B, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. Let's talk a little Patrick Mahomes. What do you think he's going to do?
Okay, so that number stays under 300 for some really interesting reasons. First, and this one's a little bit more fun than anything else, but only one starting quarterback has even had 200 passing yards against Buffalo this season, and that's Taylor Heineke with 212. I get it.
Oh, I love
that was
Heineke.
fun, though.
That is fun. That's
you
a fun
tell that
stat.
to your
is
friends when
fun.
you're hanging out and tailgating ahead of the game. But the reality here is that we haven't seen many of the tricks in games and things that you need to beat the Bills from the Chiefs yet, meaning you haven't seen them go for it on fourth down. You haven't seen bootlegs or really rollouts that are different. And obviously this guy's a good scrambler, and the Bills defense brings a lot of heat up front. So the number I want you to remember is that, you know, that's the passing yards, but the rushing yards is at like 16 and a half. It's going to be more than that. So it's going to be in the 20s, potentially in the 30s.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for receiving yards in Week 5. Who we got? Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. You want to take a closer look at who?
DJ Moore. Now, we don't know what's going on with Christian McCaffrey's status, but if you look at the next-gen stats, DJ Moore has been great in the short game. He ranks 3rd in the NFL. He has 177 receiving yards on passes of 0 to 9 air yards. And by the way, Philadelphia has allowed 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 116 passer rating. That's the 3rd highest in the NFL to these types of passes. And by the way, DJ Moore just doesn't get enough love.
Yes,
so I think we're going to like highlight this and put a little star next to it. Exactly. I think I like this one. It could be even higher than 91 very easily.
He's first team all receivers who should be first team all Hawk receivers who should be being talked about more. So
exactly.
That's good.
That's why we had to highlight him.
All right, let's take a look at FanDuel's projected lines for rushing yards in Week 5. Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb. Chubby, there he is. Who are you going to talk about?
So I'm going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I know that looks very, very close in terms of
half a point?
Listen, a half a yard.
Come on.
I am increasingly specific. But what I want to talk about in this is the actual total scrimmage yards that he has. I think it's going to be very high. Fantasy owners are going to be really happy if they have Ezekiel Elliott. There was some question with Tony Pollard in that situation, but I think it's interesting. Elliott's increase in rushing yards per carry in every game this season. And he also averages 5.8 yards per carry and has plus 61 rush yards over expected. So that means like what was expected of him, the next gen stat shows he's even better than that. And that's what he faces, a light box. So 7 or fewer defenders in the box. So that's next gen stat. And by the way, the Giants, they don't stack the box very often, only 11% of plays. So he's going to have a good opportunity to make that nice high average.
All right, speaking of Zeke, let's talk Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 7 at home against the Giants. What do you got?
I got the Cowboys winning. She talked about it. Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard, that backfield, they've done a really good job of adding balance to this offense. I got them winning 21-18. The big reason, though, and this goes without saying, is Dak Prescott.
There you go.
I mean, this guy is balling, and I tweeted this out last week, and I believe it. I don't think there are 3 quarterbacks in the league that are playing better than him. He didn't have a bunch of yards last week, but he threw for 4 touchdowns, and when you watch him, he has such a command of the game. Like, he knows where to go with the football every time. It's like that same feeling you get when you're seeing Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Dak Prescott is ascending into that, and
sure.
I think he's going to go off against the Giants.
So do you think there's 2 quarterbacks better than him? Because you didn't say there were 3. So
I think he's the third best. He's playing the 3rd best.
Got it.
In the NFL.
Got it. I just wanted to
it's a very weird way to get to it.
No, I just wanted to
We got there. We landed the plane.
But we landed the plane.
We landed it.
All right.
Cynthia, what do you like?
31-22 Cowboys win this game. But I want to talk about Daniel Jones because he didn't get enough love about that last game.
Yes.
Really interesting stuff. And I just think it's also really fun when Saquon Barkley catches 20-plus air yard attempts. I mean, that's pretty fun. It's the 3rd time that happened. So I just really wanted to highlight the fact that Daniel Jones is probably not getting enough love. He's not, you know, there's not 16 quarterbacks better than
I don't know 31 quarterbacks
I don't know. Whatever the number is, but Daniel Jones isn't getting enough love, especially behind that O-line that has let him down considerably. I don't have them winning this game, but you had to give him a little love anyway.
So what do you call him, Danny
Dimes? I like that you did.
No.
You refused Danny Dimes for years.
That's a silly name.
Danny Dimes? You won't say Danny Dimes? What's wrong with Danny Dimes?
I don't like it.
Danny Dimes?
Does he like it? I don't think he likes it.
Danny
Think about it?
I'll think about it.
Okay, great. All right, Greg is going with the Cowboys 34-30 over the Giants. And meme alert, I got the Cowboys too. I think that this is kind of an emotional game for the Cowboys. Thank you very much. You know, give or take a few days, a year ago, Dak Prescott went down against the Giants on October 11th. This has got to be somewhat of an emotional game. I'm sure he's been asked about the injury and the year that he's just had 500 times over this past week. I think he's going to want to come out strong and show, oh my gosh, the amazing things that he's been doing over the last year to kind of get himself back to this place. So I think emotion is on the line, and I think this is a big win for the boys. Okay. Old Baltimore at New Baltimore as the Colts take on the Ravens. Home team favored by a tutty. Cynthia, what do you like here?
I have 28-19. Ravens win this ball game. The Ravens defense, we always talk every single week. I'm like, Lamar Jackson, the run game, Lamar. Let's give a little shine to this defense. I love Calais Campbell. He's one of my favorite players to watch and track. But there's a number of great players on this team. And obviously one of my favorite corners in the whole league, too, who has a really, really cute cat.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, yeah, oh yeah, you got it. Marlon Humphrey's cat is quite the Twitter follow. I would have no idea about
quite the Twitter follow. A cat?
I'm telling you, he's a great follow at Instagram, actually.
I am learning so much about you as the shows go on.
Cute animals, always.
What do you like here?
I got the Ravens winning big here. I got them 24-7, and yes, Lamar is balling. Yes, this defense is balling, but I want to showcase Mark Andrews, who he is first team all-Hawk tight end.
We are giving out mad love today. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this guy he is really Lamar's #1 receiver and has been for years. He is the security blanket. He does it in the pass game. He does it in the run game. I mean, he doesn't get the commercials that the other top tight ends in the league get. He doesn't get the Twitter followers. He doesn't get the dating shows. None of that. But Mark Andrews is absolutely in contention for being the best tight end in the National Football League.
Well, we could have a Mark Andrews, just segment on this show every single week, and that could be a moment to give him some love.
Yeah, he's also first team all Andrew, so something else I like.
Okay,
Andrew
I'm having trouble keeping up with these lists here that you've just made up.
Yeah.
All right, Greg has got the Ravens 27-16, and across the board, we are all over the Ravens. Listen, Lamar Jackson, people are calling him Mr. October. Yeah, meme alert, whatever. 7-0, undefeated in the month of October. I'd love to see it. The Colts are on the road for the third week in a row, so I am going Ravens here. All right, next on Game Day View, it is officially Justin Fields' time for the Bears. Can he have first-timers luck in Vegas this weekend? Find out after the break.
Justin Fields in the game. Will they use his legs on this snap? Motion. Fields going to keep it on a read option. Cutting in. He's in for the touchdown. He hit the accelerator and he's in from the 3. Touchdown Bears. Justin Fields, his first one. Take that football and put it in a case.
Bears at Raiders. Justin Fields' first start as the full-time starter. Breathe a nasally sigh of relief. Chicago wins. Vegas still favors Vegas by 5.5. Hawk, what are you going with?
I'm going with the Raiders in this one. I got them winning 27-17.
Ooh,
and I'm a big Justin Fields fan. I'm also a biased Andy Dalton fan, too. So a little part of me cried when they named him the full-time starter. But I love Justin Fields. My son loves him. We have his jersey. I'm still picking the Raiders because of this defensive line for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, look, Justin Fields played great last week. Yes. But no offense, Cynthia, it was the Lions. This
I'm
week,
not offended.
They're going against a really good defensive line. And while they're not the Cleveland Browns, they are not too shabby. They are 8th in statistically as a defensive line. And that big part of that is Solomon Thomas and Max Crosby. Max Crosby, also a guy that I think we should talk about more. I'm giving a lot of these lists out. We should probably
I feel like you're kind of starting to like throw it away.
I'm just throwing everyone out there. I mean,
doesn't feel as important.
Rachel, we need to be talking about you more as a Game Day View host. So you've also made the list. It means a lot.
Wait, which list? The Hawk or the Ant? I lost track of
very coveted positions.
And the Cynthia, you actually also made the Cynthia list.
Oh my!
Wow.
Good Lord!
Cynthia list is really hard, actually.
Everyone talks about it.
Speaking of the Cynthia list, what do you got in this one?
Okay, so this one I have it keeping a little closer than expected, 26-21 in this matchup. I want to look at the other side of this pressure situation, and we saw Derek Carr under a lot of pressure in the game against the Chargers. We also saw the O-line has some weird things going on, meaning they're moving people around. Do you think it's a good thing when people get moved around?
I do not think it's a good thing.
Yeah, typically not when your right tackle goes to right guard and he's a rookie, and it's a bit confusing. And now if Khalil Mack plays, we keep an eye on the injury report for that. That could be really interesting. Revenge, a nice revenge narrative. I like that. Yes, I like that. So look, I'm just talking about if the Bears were too upset, the Raiders, they'd have to do it with the pressure.
Okay, and Greg is picking Raiders 24-20. I hate to do this to us again. I am going Raiders, but like Cynthia, I think that this game does stay close. Zip it up there, whoever that's saying that. Raiders don't handle their first loss of the season well. In the last 4 years, they're 0-4 coming off of their first loss of the season. I thought that was an interesting little nugget.
I like it.
Also, Justin Fields, I feel like he's kind of been dealt an impossible situation this year. They want him to play. He's not playing. He plays against the Browns. The Browns have a great defense. I feel like this is going to give him a little bit, the last week's win gives him a little bit of a confidence going into this week, and I think that he could actually do a pretty good job. So I'm going Raiders, but it stays close, okay? Let's do the math on Allen Robinson. Cynthia, what do you got?
Okay, so I think it's all about staying close using Allen Robinson. So he forecast for more than 53.5 receiving yards. That's not a very high number. Now, if you look at his 109 receiving yards for the season, 77 of them, so almost 52%, have come on quick passes. Those are under 2.5 seconds to throw. That's a next-gen stat, and the Vegas Raiders have allowed a 77.6% completion percentage with 4 touchdowns, 2 such with no interceptions. So how do you get rid of pressure? You throw it quickly. Throw it quickly is something your guy Andy Dalton would be great at.
Oh, why'd you have to bring it up again?
No, it's good. But Robinson had a 63-yarder game last week, so it does project to be a nice higher game this time. It's not going to be all Darnell.
Allen Robinson has some seriously scary music underneath these highlights. Good Lord. Look out for him.
It's rough on the streets for Allen Robinson. He's had some bad quarterbacks to contend with in his whole career. I feel bad for him. I feel like he should be on your underrated. We don't talk about it.
Throw him on the list.
Yeah, get on the list. List for you.
Everyone's on the dang list. All right, Broncos at Steelers. Broncos now a 1-point favorite, but just a 39.5-point total. I don't know how I feel about that. Cynthia, what do you like here?
I think the Broncos win by 21-20. Now, remember, I put my stuff in on Tuesday before things move. And anyways, I want to talk about
We get it. You're smart. You get your homework done early in the week.
My point is that if you see that, and it seems very similar to what the line is, but in reality, it's more likely to be more in favor of the Broncos. So it's like 1.5 points. So it maybe like 21.5 to 20. So there you go. There's the answer. But I really want to talk about Najee Harris and his use case. The fact of the matter is they're kind of overusing him. And that's a one-trick pony. And they're asking him to do way too much. This is not the defense to do that against. There's some really good line, but they're great at all 3 levels. Yeah. So it's not Najee's fault, people. He's great. I like Najee a lot.
Put him on the list.
He's on the list.
They're all on the list.
Let's put him on.
Why not?
They're just asking him to do way too much.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate.
Hawk, what are you going with here?
I'm going with you guys. Stop putting people on my list, okay?
I just feel like you're throwing everybody on the list. You might as well throw our producer Stanton on the list.
There's a method to the madness.
Rachel's
all right,
on the
I got
list.
the Steelers winning here, 17-13. And I think the Steelers defense is due for a big game. They haven't been playing well. They haven't been playing the way we typically see the Steelers. They had a big opening week against the Bills, but since then they have not been playing well. And this is a team that led the league in turnovers in 2019. was, I think, 3rd in 2020, and this year they are towards the bottom. So the good thing is they have Minkah Fitzpatrick, they have T.J. Watt, they got old Wiley Vet and Joe Hayden, and I think this week is the week that they jump back into resurgence and you start to see the big players play big.
Resurgence. All right, and Greg's got the Broncos 22-19. You know who's not having a resurgence? Big Ben. I think that this team is a little bit of a mess, okay? He was kind of playing a little bit like, oh my God, what is going on with this offense? And then it comes out he's got a hip injury. This is just not the team I want. He's always got something. He's got the ice bags on every single limb possible.
He's an injury person. Like, he's not a lying liar.
Why do I want to trust in this team when the Broncos have got a great defense? I'm going Broncos here. The NFL is returning to London this weekend, and you can catch it exclusively on NFL Network. Join us for an early one Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern as the Jets and Falcons get together. Our guy Greg is in the UK for that game, so who does he like? Take it away, Mr. Rosenthal.
All right, guys, I miss you so much. It's been so fun being here in London, but let's be real, like, I don't miss you that much. This is a lot of fun. Jets, Falcons this week. I wanted to pick the Jets. Like, I want Dan Hansis and all those Jets fans to be happy, but Zach Wilson, to me, has been making too many big mistakes, turnover-worthy plays each week. I've got the Falcons winning this game by 4 points. Doesn't matter that they don't have Calvin Ridley. Then I also like the New Orleans Saints as my other big pick of the week. The Washington football team is just like a tough defense to watch week after week. Take those training wheels off Jameis Winston. Let's get a win, Saints. That's the analysis you've been waiting for. I'll be back with you guys next week. I can't wait.
Was that supposed to be an English accent at the end there? Rupert was like, good Lord, man, get out of my face. Poor Rupert. Can we give a shit? Does he make the list?
Rupert's
Come on, give it to Rupert!
Great doorman action, Rupert.
Okay, so Greg is going Falcons, who are favored by 2.5. Hawk, who are you going with?
I'm gonna do Rupert.
Yeah, I'm going with Rupert and the Falcons. I got the Falcons winning 34-27 as they invade my personal space, and you guys are all team get out of my space, Cynthia. No, I got the Falcons winning. The reason being, Zach is going to London, Cynthia. That's a distraction. He's a rookie. I don't know if he can handle it. I'm not expecting him to go over there and continue, you know, that momentum that he built last week. So I got the Falcons winning.
Cynthia, what do you got?
Well, I had the Falcons winning until Calvin Ridley was ruled out. Yep. Then it switched over to the other side, a low-scoring game, 23.
Cynthia?
Yeah, you're supposed to give us this, like, insight.
I'm supposed to pick with you so I can...
23-21, even though Cordero Patterson's like all over the place catching touchdowns at every level of the freaking field. But the interesting part here is Jamison Crowder forecast for a nice day in this matchup. And Corey Davis, are you trying to be?
I'm trying to get you. Yeah.
Trying to change your pick?
Doing the Cynthia style.
What's going on
I'm giving her
there?
eyes of like, you text me when you change your pick.
Oh, yeah. Can you do that to me, too?
You got it.
I like to be right.
Okay.
I am going with Cynthia. I'm the smart girl. I'm going Jets. I was actually on the Jets before Calvin Ridley came out and said that he was not going to be playing. I know I've heard all about how rookies do not do well in London. They are 0-4. But I think Zach Wilson breaks that trend, and he builds on what he did last weekend. And I'm going with the Jets.
Defensive front.
Jets, Jets. Next on Game Day View, we are talking point totals. Just how many points will be scored between the Bills and the Chiefs? Hopefully a lot. Find out after the break.
to his right. Pass is caught. Kelsey still on the move at the 10. All the way into the end zone.
He gets the ball. Kareem Hunt leaps up and over. He's in. They got 2.
56 for the win. Kick on the way. Kick is good, and the Cowboys win.
Now he looks, now he throws back. It's Tyler Lockett. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown!
It's time for Predict the Points, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. All right, let's kick this off with, I hope, what is going to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. Bills at Chiefs, 56.5 points. What are we feeling? To the moon, baby. What's going on over here? Boring?
Greg.
What do y'all about defense?
Greg and I both.
Oh, cute
We actually
Greg.
both agree on this one. Hey, Greg.
Oh,
He's a less.
good
Got
job,
a nice
Greg.
little camera.
He's a less.
He gets his own camera?
He gets his own. Yeah, why not? You know, because he's just hanging out. Look, when I look at this game, it's I told you before, the Chiefs have the fewest offensive possessions. They take up so much time on the clock. Turns out the Bills kind of are trending in that same way as well. Both of the defenses are very interesting. One is quite good, probably, maybe, a little untested. The other one we've seen give up a bunch of yards. A bunch of yards means it takes time off the clock. So for me, that just means not a lot less, just like a little less. Greg agrees.
I want to see like a Rams-Chiefs Thursday Night Football from a few years ago. I want to see that kind of game this weekend. Defense is just going to sit the day out. All right, let's move on to this next one. Browns at Chargers, 47.5 points. I am going less. I hope the Browns defense shows up. You were on the fence with this one, right? You changed your mind about it?
I didn't change my mind.
Your algorithm changed.
No, the algorithm, the thing moved.
It's just moved.
That number moved. So I just kept it the same, and
more.
it just went a little bit different. I don't feel very confident in this one in terms of more or less. I just feel like a lot of run game means a lot more opportunity for
It does, but these are two of the best and most high-powered offenses in the league. They can throw it, right? Like,
Greg agrees with you.
Greg agrees with
There we
you.
go.
So
Greg
me and
is
Greg
my
on the
guy.
same page. Thanks, Greg. We miss you.
There we go. All right, next game, 49ers at Cardinals, 49.5 points. What do you think,
Look at
Brock?
that. Meme alert. We're all more here.
Uh-oh.
It's Kyler Murray, man.
Like 13-3.
They are going 5-0.
Kyler Murray might score 49.5 points himself. On
Wow.
yes. Light it up. Light
does
the
he get that half
scoreboard
a
up.
point?
I have
That's what he
three.
does.
I have 3 touchdowns forecast for.
Wow.
Yeah, 3.
There you
And
go.
man, by the way, I think it's gonna be interesting. I think Trey Lance has 1 through the air, so that's interesting.
All
Note.
Wow, pick up
like
Kyler's
that.
fantasy. There you go. Giants at Cowboys, 52.5 points. This could be a high-scoring game. I'm
Could
going
be.
more.
I'm
Emotional
gonna
game
go
for Dak?
Less.
Boo. Why less?
Am I the only less?
Yeah,
The
looks
only
like
less.
it.
Dang, Greg, you been with
Greg?
me before?
Yep.
The running games. I think that the Cowboys have done a really good job getting the running game going, and the Giants. You see Saquon Barkley also got it going last week a little bit in a couple different ways, more passing.
Lone
but
hawk.
I
just heard it.
Oh, flying
That's
solo.
what
there
that
it
is.
was.
Look, there's a damn eagle
like Lone
in
That's
here.
always it. Flying solo. Flying solo on the
Flying
left.
solo.
Like
Lot of
flying
running.
solo better than lone hawk.
I think it.
Lone Hawk is perfect.
Is there such thing as a lone hawk, or did we make that up?
It's a hawk that's alone.
I don't like birds, so let's change the subject. Colts at Ravens, 45.5
Understand what you're saying
points.
there, but okay.
More. I'm going more. Hawk, you are going less. Cynthia, why are you going more in this one? Mr. October.
Mr. October. No, look, that number's quite low. I think that the Ravens will score. They've been very efficient, so I think this is.
Greg, why are you going less? Because you got a solo camera. We might as well hear from you. Forget it. Forget it, Greg. You're in London.
That's the smartest thing you've ever said, Greg.
Bears at Raiders. 44.5 points. Bears at Raiders. What are we thinking for this one? I'm going
Nobody's
for-
less with me?
Why are you going
Greg's less?
Bears defense?
Yeah, Bears defense as well as the Raiders defense as well, going against a rookie. So
Come on, Justin Fields. Pulling out here. Broncos at Steelers. Defense versus defense. This number's already low, 39.5 points. I'm going low. You aren't, wow, more.
Like a little more. It's not going to be a super high scoring game, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little more. I think we'll see. There's some holes in both of these defenses.
Broncos offense is banged up too. Teddy's banged up, Cortland Sutton's banged up, and then
Look,
offense for the
I get
Steelers
it.
we've seen.
I'm with you, but this is what the math says.
Okay.
Not my heart.
All right.
Remember, she's the one that doesn't like birds, not me.
That's right.
Okay, when it comes to betting, it pays to have a solid game plan. To learn more about responsible betting, visit responsibleplay.org. Okay, when we come back, can Joe Burrow and the Bengals upset the Packers in Cincy? That one is part of Quick Picks. after this timeout. Watch the cameras, guys. They're expensive.
This a homecoming.
They don't know we get violent in here.
Let's go to work.
You're #1 in the world and it'll always be.
We gotta protect this house, and we got the whole city behind it.
Game over. Game over.
I can't catch for real.
Give me a hug.
That's you, baby. That's you.
Love you, bud.
Aw, sweet. FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every NFL Sunday. That's why this week they are giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet when you make your first NFL same-game parlay bet with 3 legs or more. So lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. All right, I am ready to run through a wall after that promo up on the top. Quick picks time. Let's start with Saints at Washington, starting with that one. We know Greg. Teleprompter, thank you. We know Greg likes the Saints, but he is alone. Why do you guys like Washington? Stop giving Greg camera time. He's in London. Okay?
I would almost just picked it up and threw it.
Throw it across the room. He's going to bail on us.
Too much expensive stuff in here. I'm not going to get in trouble.
Cynthia, why do you like Washington here? Heineke, baby.
It's Taylor Heineke and his ability to connect with especially Terry McLaurin on every level of the field. In fact, when he has been facing the blitz, he's been doing really well. He has a high passer rating against the blitz, and that's what you see the Saints do at the 10th highest rate is blitz. So I think this is, I was a little surprised by this one, to be perfectly honest. I didn't have like when my heart didn't have a huge lean for that, but Matt says 1 point win.
Not a Jameis guy?
I just don't trust them, and you know.
Right now,
I mean, just the Saints in general. It's like they don't play what you expect when you expect them to do it, and then they play better when you don't. I don't know. But the football team, on the other hand, last week late in that game, they showed like hey, they're legit to be able to come back like that on the road.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yes. All right, and then Greg's got 28-17 for the Saints. All right, Eagles at Panthers. Hawk is flying solo with the Eagles. The sound?
There it is.
That's terrifying.
It is. I like it.
It's scary.
It's not.
Why do you like the Eagles here?
Birds are loving. I like the Eagles. See what he did there? I like the Eagles because they're birds, number one, and number two, because I think this is a perfect trap game, right? Like, Carolina Panthers offense looked well or good against the Cowboys last week, but the Cowboys kind of dominated that one. I expect them to come in here and kind of underestimate Jalen Hurts. He has been playing really, really good. Even though the record doesn't show that, he has been playing really, really good for a guy who's only, what, like 9 games into his NFL starting career.
Cynthia and Greg, you guys both have close wins from the Panthers. Why?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this game and when the math lines up for it, it is the defense for the Panthers that has a little bit of an edge. But Jalen Hurts does play well. He just doesn't have enough weapons. Perhaps you want to target one of his tight ends if you were playing fantasy. But when it comes to winning the game, you also need to remember that, you know, the offense plays their defense.
Play some safety.
Other parts of the game. All right. I think this is a sneaky fun game. Packers at Bengals. I was kind of on the fence with this one. Let's reveal our answers.
You should change it.
I was on the fence, and then I just decided to go with the Packers.
You can change right now. You got time.
I like Joey B. I like Joey franchise.
Change it. Change it.
Change it.
Oh.
Give me the Bengals.
I love it when we talk
If
about
I am wrong about this, I'm going to be very upset with you.
It's happened to me all the time.
This
She
is
always
peer
pressures me into changing my pick, and then I lose.
Do anything.
Go Cincy. Okay,
Go
I feel
Cincy.
good about it. Why do you guys like the Packers?
Aaron Rodgers. I think Joey B is great, and he has been balling, but when you look holistically at the team, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, they have it in almost every aspect, especially offensively, so I think it's going to be too much for them to overcome. One
thing that you really have on your side, and I have a very close game forecast, is because Joey Burrow, I almost said, I don't know what I did.
Joey Burrow?
Joey franchise, or whatever we were calling him on Good Morning Football. They have their corner roster depth right now is like all on the injury report. Jair Alexander is probably one of the best corners in the league, and I think he's like spotted in a sling, so that could be great for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and whichever one of his wide receivers are playing, because they're all on the. I mean, T. Higgins is questionable. Tyler Boyd, you could pick him up in fantasy. Yeah. You know, just with dearth of information.
All right, let's move on to this next game, Titans-Jags. No drama happening in this one. Pretty straightforward game to play. I don't see any, media covering or. Why do you guys like the Titans here?
Because they're not the Jags.
Okay,
just kidding. Just kidding.
We can just move on from that one. Obviously, a lot less.
Derrick Henry. Just the answer is Derrick Henry every single time. It's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry.
Henry is on the list. Okay, on to some games we don't have time for. Patriots heavy favorites in Houston, and we are all going with New England. Mac Jones, you guys, I thought he was kind of exciting to watch last week.
He was oddly exciting for being so like dink and dunky efficient, but yeah, no, he definitely was poised in the noise, as they say.
Okay, so some people were considering taking Mac Jones in fantasy football. Now, I would maybe do daily.
Like, don't.
Well, here's what I tell you. When you look at the injury report, like all of their own linemen are on the report. So while I think it's going to be a big win for them, like maybe that means Damian Harris should be the fantasy player that you look at.
All right. Moving on to this next one. How dare you let me pick the Lions last week? This was worthy of a text. Hey, Rachel, I saw that you were on Lions. Maybe don't be. That's what you should have. That would have been a test of friendship.
I feel like that
would have been a test of our friendship, and
honestly,
you failed.
Honestly, I feel like I've said that every single week. I feel like you just.
You know what?
I take it back. Wildly consistent.
I take it back.
About how terrible the Lions are. So yes,
you're right. Okay, and then finally, Tom Brady just can't quit destroying the AFC East. We all say the Bucs pretty big over the Dolphins.
I've got this pirate shirt on just for this occasion.
Dressed as a pirate today. Any bold predictions in that one? Tom Brady balling out? Big comeback here?
I would say Tom Brady plays well.
I think he plays well. I think that it's not going to be like 350 yards because they're not going to need it. Yeah. So that it's less about like it's not an answer. I think this is like the Leonard Fournette play him in like we're just giving fantasy advice now.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette.
This is
put him on the list.
The fantasy show.
There you go.
All right, we will be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. All right, back on Game Day View. It is time for Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes-Benz. So we got to do this on my birthday, guys. I was feeling really good last week. 9-7, it's fine, whatever. Hawk 11-5.
Yes.
Cynthia 12-4. You were on a hot streak, my friend.
That's the number one way to make it go away, is to talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about how great Cynthia is doing.
No.
She is the best.
It's not me, it's
her
Matt.
lead.
Okay, I'm not in last place, so that's what's important.
Greg is.
Greg is really just mailing it in. Okay, it is time for Write This Down. This is what we feel very strongly about going into this weekend. A little bit of a homer, but this is my early birthday present to myself. It's not early, today's my birthday, that makes no sense.
It's like,
OBJ to score the first touchdown against the Chargers on Sunday. I feel like these guys just need to go. They needed to go off this week and have a little retreat. Him and Baker just needed to, just vibe with each other.
So cool if they went to Miami on a boat.
Oh, they should have gone to Miami on a boat.
That would have been dope.
Fall in love with each other and
Took
just
a
really
picture.
synced up.
Posted it.
But you know what? This is gonna be, just a really great way to start this game and get these guys back on track. Hawk, what's your rate?
I love it. OBJ has been my favorite receiver for a very long time, so we need that touchdown out of you, OBJ. But I'm going with another receiver here. I'm going with DeAndre Hopkins. He has at least 76 receiving yards this week. Again, he's been a little tame because people have been keying on him. I think this week versus the 49ers, he opens it up and he balls out.
That's fun.
I like that one.
I like that.
Well, listen, we're coming close because, I'm a corporate shill here. There's a game. It's in the morning. It's on Sunday. It's on NFL Network. In London, right? Jamison Crowder's going to have more than 51.5 receiving yards. This is going to be like by the first 3 quarters. So go ahead and write that one down.
Write that one down.
Bosses, you
Write
got
that
it?
down.
Write that down.
It's always weird. I go in the ice and they go.
You got to go that one.
Okay.
This is the one we're in now.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this has been a fun show. Can I just say it was really good without Greg here?
Happy birthday.
I
It's
miss
just
you,
because it
Greg.
was your birthday.
I would not agree to that. Happy birthday.
He was talking trash to us from London there, and we're sitting in
I would rather have
Los
Rupert,
Angeles.
Rupert,
Thank you
we
guys.
need Rupert
This
to come
was,
back.
Yep, there he is. Old Greg. We'll see him next week. Thank you guys for watching Game Day View. Enjoy the games on Sunday. We'll see you next week.